Hello, folks. A very good morning, good afternoon, as well as good evening to whomever is watching at different time period. I welcome you all to this conversation regarding the recent, we can say, DDoS 2.0, which basically starts sparkling the environment. Okay, which is basically all about IoT Sparks new DDoS alert. Okay, so in this video, we'll be discussing about this and in details. Okay, we'll be discussing. Okay, so before proceeding further, I just want to make sure that you have subscribed the channel, like the channel, and share the channel as soon as possible for getting the latest update regarding what actually this is and how actually the exact flow of this DDoS 2.0 is all about. Okay, so I just want to make sure you have done the necessary things before proceeding. Okay, so the internet of things. So basically when we discuss about internet of things and what actually that is and how actually it usually works, so we must and should have to learn that the internet of things or IoT is transforming the efficiency in various sectors. Okay, basically it's transferring the sectors in the place of healthcare, logistics, but also has introduced new security risks, particularly IoT drives DDoS attacks. And this article explores, or we can say, this article explores how these attacks works and why they are uniquely problematic and how it is how to mitigate them. Okay, so what is IoT? So when we discuss about what is IoT, then we must and should have to learn about internet of things, right? So in our college days, you must have learned about what is IoT device and how actually it works. When it comes for IoT, you must and should have done some Arduino based programming. Okay, so that's what about IoT we'll be discussing here. Okay, so internet of things basically refers to an online interconnection devices. Okay, so or we can say if you are gadgeting, or if you are working with the EC department or electronical communication department, then you might have a proficient knowledge, okay, a prominent knowledge on how to apply internet connection to a device and stimulate that device with your voice controls, with Arduinos, with the capabilities the internet of things provides. Okay, sorry. So this all comes under what IoT is. So this is the interconnected device that basically collects and exchanges the data. Okay, this broad category of devices, which basically includes sensors, cameras, we can say network routers and advanced machineries, and their integration into everyday life, and the work progress or processes results in an ecosystem that can automate and operation improves decision making and also enhance user experience. Okay, so this is what about IoT says about. When we discuss about IoT, a breeding ground for botnet. So what actually it is? IoT, a breeding ground for botnet. So IoT's rapid adoption amplifies its vulnerability. Definitely, when something is scaling up, definitely there might be some disadvantages which are already placed in that, which already been into that. Okay, so that's amplifies into its vulnerability as poorly secured devices becomes easy prey for attackers and makes becomes part of botnet. Okay, so controlled controlled by hackers, we can say attackers. I'm sorry, really sorry for that. So controlled by attackers, botnet can scale and rapidly execute various attacks, which basically includes DDoS, data theft, fraud, crypto mining activities, spam, phishing, data harvesting, and spoofing without device owner's knowledge. So that is all about what IoT, a breeding ground for botnets. Okay, then after, why IoTs, or we can say why our IoT botnets are growing concern. Okay, why are IoT botnets a growing concern? When we discuss about botnets are nothing, okay, botnets are nothing new we came across, right? But IoT botnet poses a specific threat. Okay, a threat. The number of IoT devices reached billions, or can say 16 billion in 2022, and is expected to reduce, or can say exist 30 billion by 2025. Okay, so these devices often suffer from frequent updates, or we can say, or we can say insecure default setting, or we can say an amplifies left unattended, making them less secure than traditional computers, and are at risk for being hijacked with a relatively easy to form a potent botnet. Okay, when then after we if we discuss about the scale and complexity of IoT drives, okay, driven attacks are set of rise due to their increasing users, and among these risk distributed denial of service DDoS attacks stands out in a particular particularly challenging to challenging basically to mitigate the risk. And also the distributed of nature of IoT devices renders them ideal platforms for these attacks, and making it difficult to identify and block malicious traffic, and thereby compounding the challenging of DDoS mitigation. So anatomy of IoT driven botnet DOS attacks. So let us discuss how IoT DDoS attacks happens, and how we IoT's devices joins the rank of botnet. So when we discuss about that, how are IoT attacks basically been launched? Okay, we'll be discussing about that. IoT DDoS attacks been launched. So there are several entities involved in DOS botnet attacks. So one is attacker is the person who controls the botnet. Okay, they are also known as the bot header, or you can say bot master. Okay, a command and control CMC server, okay, is a computer controlled by a attacker. Okay, and used to communicate with the infected devices. The CNC orchestrator, okay, the botnet action, sending out the global commands for tasks like initiating an attack, or we can say, or scanning a new device, or we can say vulnerability. Okay, a botnet basically what does is a botnet is a network of devices that have infected with malware, and are what controlled by a single attacker, and the victims of or the target is focused on a specific botnet attack. Okay, then after this is how actually the thing happened when a DDoS botnet based attack, IoT botnet based attack comes with in respect to DDoS. Okay, first is an attacker. So at an attacker gains a command and control botnet via CNC server. Then after coordinates the botnet with number of devices. Let us consider from device 1 to device 4, and it places the attack, we can say DOS attack. Okay, distributed denial of service DDoS attack, and which basically becomes a victim of device. Okay, then after the attack process is relatively straightforward. Definitely, because it is straightforward, the attacker targets the botnet to a victim. The botnet operates the identifies the target, which basically usually been in devices, we can say websites, online services, and also they can they want to take down the things. Okay, the second thing which basically mentioned here is the CNC server orchestrated and DDoS attacks. The CNC server sends the attacker's instruction to all the botnets in the network to start sending the request to the target, and also coordinates the botnet behavior. Okay, so this also comes under that. Then after third number point, which basically says about that a flood of network traffic or a traffic occurs, all the botnet in the network start sending a large number of requests. Okay, large number of requests to the targeted website or servers. Okay, so this is how actually the third number point, which basically signifies, okay, a flood of traffic which basically this occurred. Okay, when the botnet flood the targets, okay, when the botnet floods the target with excessive requests, with a number of excessive requests, service failure occurs. Definitely what happens is service failure occurs, which jeopardize the availability of the targeted system, and even put the integrity of the whole infrastructure at risk. Okay, it puts the whole infrastructure at risk. when the aimed okay when aimed against essential infrastructure such as healthcare, or you can say transportation, the hazard goes beyond the financial reputation, harms the endangered people's life. Okay, in corrupting the IoT based devices into botnet. When we discuss about in corrupting IoT devices into botnet, is all about IoT devices which has been infected. Okay, IoT devices that are unpatched or unattended or misconfigured, are already under botnet DOS attacks because their misconfiguration occurred, and at the risk of being encrypted into botnet, the expanded okay to expand the botnet, an attacker hacks the new IoT devices. This process involves two entities. One is botnet itself and the loader server, which basically specifically, or you can say which specially uh, targets the special attacker, or we can say servers that basically infects the devices. In brief, we say, if we say, the process goes like, the botnet hacks the devices and also gains the access, and then the loader server installs the malware on it. The attacker then gains the permanent access to the devices and attach the and also attaches it to the botnet. Here are the some of the stages of infecting IoT devices and connecting them to a bot-based Mira cases. Okay, when we discuss about that, one is initial command, orchestration, scanning, and compromise. So these things basically occurs when we discuss about in brief of what actually the infected device occurs. The attacker uses the CNC server to send the command to the botnet, or we can say, or the attacker to encrypt the new devices. Okay, and the CNC server basically starts. Okay, CNC server basically starts. Okay, coordinates to the botnet action. Then after scanning and compromise, the botnet scans the compromised victims and devices to gain the privileged access to assess the brute force. Okay, definitely it usually done once it get compromised. Thereafter, data reporting, malware delivery, and infection joining the botnet. So this is how actually the things happen. Okay, attacker CNC control device A, B, C, D. Okay, and scan the compromised device and the malware, reported about the discovery of vulnerability, and this usually occurs. Okay, after compromisation. Okay, so I will not be taking much of your time, folks, and I think this attacks, you can read it about the how dangerous in is the current IoT DDoS threat is, and I basically recommend you to have a follow-ups in your comment section if you have any queries regarding this, and I will be delivering a fruitful session regarding what actually the things happen on this. Okay, so till then, thanks for watching the video. Thank you folks.